What's up, future millionaires? It's Mike the Investor. Now, in this quick update, we're going to talk about the BTT token. We're going to briefly dive into the price chart, and then we're going to talk about some of the FUD surrounding the BTT token. Now, I still get a lot of comments on YouTube and on social media surrounding BTT, such as, hey Mike, what's going on with BTT? Hey Mike, are you still holding BTT? And also, hey Mike, can you just do another update on the BTT token just to talk about it? Well, this video is for you. So before we dive into today's content, grab you some free Bitcoin by using the Voyager and BlockFi link in the description below. But enough talking, let's jump into it. Alright, crypto investors, welcome back to the channel. Now we are on CoinGecko, and according to CoinGecko, the cryptocurrency market is right around 2.77 trillion. We are currently flat right now on the day, and the 24-hour volume of 150.5 billion. Now, as we look at BTT, it's still in the top 100, of course, number 82, and the current price 0.003. Now, as we look at the market cap, a little bit over 2 billion, and we can see for the circulating supply, of course, we all know BTT has a pretty large supply at 659 billion, and then you have the total supply, which is right under pretty much a trillion, 990 billion, right? So let's go ahead and move that. We are already on the one chart, and so if we look at the all-time high, it was April 5th when it was recorded, according to CoinGecko, right at 0.013, so a little bit over 1 cent, and we can see the all-time low was last year in March of 2020. Now, as we can see, here's the big run-up that we saw, and this was before Bitcoin set new all-time highs, when Bitcoin first hit that 59,000 and briefly reached over 60,000. Now, as we can see here, I just want to show you something. I started talking about BTT way before this run-up, okay? And so, as we can see, February 26th was when I first released the first video on BTT, and we can see the price is a tenth of a penny, 0.001. Let me just show you as well for some of the FUD people that's going to be in the comment section. And so as you can see, here's my first video on BTT. Here is the date, February 26, 2021. All right, that's when I first started talking about BTT. And then as you can see here, BitTorrent, this one here, but I'm going to move down so you can see the actual title. BitTorrent token, what price to take profits? This came out April 2nd. 3 days before the all-time high of BTT. So I gave warnings. I also was very transparent. And even when I was talking about BTT, when I first started talking about the project,
seems so fucking terrible, dude.
For me. However, that doesn't mean it's a long-term goal. For some of those people that are panicking or that have a lot of negative things to say, those people probably FOMO in. They bought higher up at these prices here and expected it to keep going up. Or maybe they were a little bit newer investor, which completely is understandable, and they're just trying to figure out what's going on with it.
Fucking hate this game, dude. I just started the fucking match.
Consolidate a very long time.
So fucking annoying, man.
Let's go over the Bitcoin was right around
Fucking annoying, dude. It's I don't know what it is, but they always just love to fucking come to me first.
it hit 60.
No matter what I do, the motherfucker scream closer to you and you come to me. Like, what the fuck is that?
So let's just take a look.
Fucking irritated, dude.
61,000 Bitcoin. Let's go to Bitcoin. March 13th, it was still a tenth of a penny, so way before these huge run-ups, right? And so one thing that BitTorrent has shown us is that one thing it does track Bitcoin pretty heavily, and it's also known to take off at the last minute. It's a slower mover, but when it does move, it pumps like we see. So let's look at the max chart. And so as you can see, if we go all the way here, you can see that BTT is known to consolidate a lot after it hits an all-time high. And this is what we saw here, a huge consolidation for this entire year. And then we can see BTT started to take a step up, and then this is when I started talking about it, and then we saw that all-time high.
Move, motherfucker. Wow. You are such a bitch, you know that? Fucker just stands in the pallet like that. Who the fuck does that? I'm leaving that motherfucker to die. Great. great, bro. Like, I'm gonna get tunneled now.
Price charting just kind of
I
powers
fucking hate this game, dude.
reporting is big for as well. I'm not a technical analysis guy, as you all know. Let's briefly kind of talk about some of the above. Number one, yes, I'm still holding BTT. And if I didn't believe in BTT, based off the quantity amount I have, I would have took profits back in April, all profits, my 400% position, and put it into another position. I'm still holding that full position in BTT. I'm also still up in that position. So I will say it does make it a little bit easier as an investor for myself to hold a position I'm down on. However, if you've been in the Patreon, you guys know don't panic when I'm down on a position. I actually buy more, which is what I did with BGX, which I completely lowered my cost from $6 all the way down to closer to $3. And that's the power of narrowing it down if you believe in what you own and you have the courage to do so. And so there are going to be a lot of people that's going to be in the
What
comments
is this
section,
team,
hey,
dude?
BTT's a dead coin, hey, BTT's this. Well, guess what? When BTT was on its run, you didn't hear all that FUD. So remember, keep that in mind. If you're a newer investor, there's always going to be FUD. And FUD means fear, uncertainty, and doubt.
I get you guys.
There's a lot of people that's going to put negative things out there. Some of those people don't even own BTT. They just want to spread negative news. And then ask yourself one question. If these people think BTT is a bad project, why would you click on a video that's talking about BTT? Because they want to spread negativity and buzz. Just be mindful of that. There's nothing we can do about that, but all we can do is continue to win with the position that we have. Now, for those of you that purchased a little bit higher, you probably was a newer investor and really didn't kind of know what was going on. I definitely feel for you 100%. I will say, though, there's a couple things you can do. Maybe you're one of those people that want to get out of BTT. Well, hey, once things retrace, and I believe it will, retrace, that will be your time to go ahead and break even or make a little profits. Don't hesitate. Take your profits, which a lot of people did in April, and I warned them to take profits on the way, but they didn't. If BTT dropped, hey,
I fucking hate this game, dude.
I told you guys, and also I don't have a crystal ball.
What is up with these fucking morons who just love to go down?
But I've been more big than I've been more all human. But however, as we get more following and more people look at our content, we get put at a higher pedestal. People say, hey, you can't make mistakes. Well, hey, I'm here to tell you, I'm gonna make mistakes. I'm gonna still continue to help people be more successful in the future, like I have been doing. Regardless of
Stupid,
what
bro.
people's
This
mistakes.
shit's so
You just
fucking
go back and look
stupid.
at the track record of everything I've talked
Who
about.
the fuck am I playing with right now? Like, come on.
Regardless if things have pulled back, I've been pretty right on most things I've talked about. And so I just wanted to make this
Give me
video.
out of this
Yes,
fucking
I'm still
game.
on BTT. Yes, I'm still profit 100%. As I mentioned when I first started investing, I established my position long term hold. So remember, your positions may not be the best positions.
Ridiculous, dude. I have calm spirit. I don't scream, and this motherfucker comes to me at the very beginning. Like, what? Yeah. This game's so great. And I have everybody who just loves to body block a pallet, bro. Like, you don't see me fucking running through? Fucking idiots. Swear to God. And then this person's first hook. First hook, can't do shit. Fucking die already.
As we head into what could be the final leg of this bull market, it's essential that you manage your picks and your plays correctly so that you don't get left leaving the bag. But how do you find quality projects and how do you find where the capital is flowing to make those picks correctly? Today I'm going to share with you some invaluable knowledge as to how I've played this market and made astronomical gains in the past year. Hey guys, Sheldon Evans here, welcome back. Or if you're new here, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on all of those bell notifications to see
There's
more
a bunch of
content
fucking
like this.
idiots all the
Before we get
time.
into this, I'm going to use Luna as an example, but I first want to announce that I am hosting a $50,000 crypto giveaway. As you guys know, in the previous video I announced my NFT project that I'm working on, and that will be releasing very soon. I'm giving away $50,000 in crypto, $25,000 in Ethereum, $25,000 in Solana, as well as 11 NFTs from the project. Now, we haven't withheld a bunch of NFTs for giveaways. We actually have a very small amount reserved for giveaways because we do want the project to actually have value and don't simply give away all the NFTs for free. But we have reserved some for this giveaway. So you can head over to the link in the description. It'll be in the top line of the description and in the top comment of this video. Go ahead, you can go daily and you can enter these daily. You can join the Discord, follow our Twitter and retweet and so on to increase your chances of winning. But let's get back into the video. Now, I'm going to be using Luna as an example here, purely because it has been a play that I can use as a good illustration. Now, this line on the chart here, this yellow line, this yellow vertical line, is the point at which I sold the majority of my Cardano for Luna. Now, the reason that I want to highlight this, and I keep coming back to this, is that the reason that I did this was not based on the technicals of the chart. The reason that I did this was not because I had insider information. The reason that I did this was purely based on sentiment. Now, sentiment is going to be your key word here in making astronomical gains as we head into the end of this year. Whether you like it or not, 90%, maybe even more, of the value that is in this market, or the value of the capital that is allocated to certain projects in this market, is based on hype. And what is hype? It is market sentiment. Now, you guys know that I've been a big proponent of Cardano for many, many months, and I made great gains on that too. But Cardano had done 100x since the point that I'd entered. Now, this is not to brag, it's not to rub it in your face, it's not to do that at all. It's all to say that I managed to judge sentiment correctly. Now, if you can understand humans and human emotion and human actions and human behavior, that will help you make the most gains in this market. You don't have to look at the charts, you simply have to look where the sentiment is moving. Now, Cardano had a very, very strong community behind it, and a very loyal following, and it still does, right? But after those astronomical gains, a lot of that hype started dying down after the smart contracts were launched, after all of these updates and events had taken place. It's hard to sustain that hype. So what did we do? We looked for where that hype and that sentiment had shifted to, and where did it go? To other L1 projects, other layer 1 projects, like Solana, like Phantom, like Luna, for example. And the reason that I chose to invest in Luna is because I saw that it did have productive assets on it as well, on top of pure sentiment, right? So it has a strong project behind it, it has a lot of DeFi behind it, there's a lot of capital that is being allocated in a productive way, as well as a strong, dedicated community that are determined to make this a successful product, or successful project for that matter. So by noticing that and by seeing where the sentiment shift had changed, I managed to make this trade, right? So had I simply held on to Cardano at this point where I sold my Cardano for Luna, I would be down at this point around 50%. But by trading into Luna, I'm now up 150%. That is a massive gain purely based on sentiment, right? So today I'm going to show you how to use that sentiment to your advantage and make some good picks. Now, what is the major hype that's going on right now? What is the major thing that everybody's talking about that I spoke about in the previous video? The metaverse. Why is this happening? Well, of course, Facebook was the major catalyst to change their name to Meta and increase this hype. Now, judging sentiment, we've got a ton of different tools that we can use for this, and one of those is Google Trends. Now, you can use Google Trends for anything, whether it's checking sentiment around Bitcoin, whether it's checking sentiment around baby names, whether it's checking sentiment about where the best holiday destinations in the world are, which right now, for me, it's pretty much nowhere because I cannot leave my borders. But we have Metaverse seeing this massive, huge spike back here when Facebook basically announced their change of name to Meta. And that was a catalyst that sent a ton of Metaverse coins skyrocketing. They sent them absolutely astronomical based on that pure sentiment change, right? Now, of course it did come back down, it did correct. Metaverse coins did exactly the same thing. We had that major spike, and then they did come back down again, right? They have a bit of a correction. But what we've noticed is that we have a higher baseline, right? The search volume over time is higher at average than it was previously. That means the sentiment has changed. It means that it's circling around the back of people's heads. This could be something that could be the next major catalyst as we head into the end of the year, because people are already aware of it. Now, I have a background in marketing, and one of the most important things in marketing is knowing that your touch points with your customer has to be at least 7 times, right? If you want to sell something to someone, has to be 7 interactions with that person before they're likely to purchase your product. Now, that can be the same with any industry, and not necessarily just in sales. I'm talking about sentiment. The more frequently somebody hears about something, the more frequently it's said to them, the more likely they are to pay attention to it and possibly even hand over their hard-earned dollars for that said thing. And in this case, we're looking at the metaverse, right? As more and more people start hearing about the metaverse, as it becomes desensitized to this possible virtual world that we'll be living in, people are more likely to part with their dollars and invest in metaverse-related items, products, events, and so on. And with that being said, how do we find then which metaverse projects are important? How do we find where the volume is going to be going? Again, sentiment. I spend an unreasonable amount of time on Twitter and on news sites. And the reason is not that I'm tweeting a storm every single day, but it's because I'm looking at what other people are saying, looking at sentiment. I'm searching for certain terms and seeing how many tweets are behind that certain term. If we look for a project, I see tons of people messaging me every single day. What about this project? What about that project? I've heard about this. My friend told me about that. If it's something that doesn't have hype behind it, if it's something that other people aren't talking about yet, it's probably not going to be a good investment. It's a speculative play at best, but what you need to do is look for things that people are already talking about. Not at the very end of that cycle, not after the hype has passed and everybody's talking about it, but you need to see where these little sparks, these little fireworks are popping off, that people start talking about new projects and new events within the metaverse, or whichever industry you're interested in. If you're interested in DeFi, if you're interested in layer ones, whatever it is, look for where the hype is. We saw this very recently with a project known as Cardano, and Cardano is in the Terra ecosystem. We saw a ton of influencers start talking about it all of a sudden on Twitter. Massive hype for this project. It skyrocketed in price and then had to come down to correct. But we saw those sparks start firing right at the beginning, and that's what we're seeing again with the metaverse. We see a ton of these projects slowly but surely being mentioned here and there. One of these in particular is UFO gaming. Now, I first got notified about this, somebody DM'd me on Twitter telling me about UFO gaming, it's meme token, gaming token, it's going to be incredible, it's going to be huge. And I first brushed it aside, but then I saw other influences and other people talking about it. Now, there's this misconception that every project that influencers talk about is a sponsored or paid project, or they have some sort of incentive to promote that. While that is the case, perhaps they have seed allocation, perhaps they have early allocation, perhaps they've been paid in tokens, perhaps they've been even paid by the project. And this goes undisclosed all over the crypto space. The crypto sphere, it happens all the time that people don't disclose that they have vested interest in these projects. But that doesn't matter to you as the investor. All you're managing here, or all you're looking for, is sentiment. So when these influencers start talking about that, whether it's paid or not, it doesn't matter, because there are going to be more influencers, there are going to be more names, there are going to be more people talking about it, about this said project or whatever it is. The hype is going to drive that project, it's going to drive the growth. As I said at the beginning of this video, 90% of the value is based on hype. That's going to pump the price of these projects, and that's where you make your gains. It doesn't matter what the underlying incentive is for these people that are talking about these projects. The idea is that you, as the viewer or the investor, can capitalize on whatever is going on behind the scenes, because I can guarantee you there's a lot of shady stuff that goes on, but it doesn't matter. You can still use it to your advantage. Now, how do I find which project I'm looking for? Where do I look to find this sentiment? As I said, like I've said, you can use Twitter, you can use news sites, and so on. Then you can, of course, use CoinGecko. Go to Metaverse Coins, and we're using this as an example. See where the gains are happening. When something pumps 42%, stand back, look at it again, and figure out, has this passed? What is this hype? What's driving this right now? Am I going to be shaken out of my bags? If you see other coins pumping, you see other projects pumping, your bags aren't. First, think about how much those coins will pump before buying into them, because if you do that, often you'll be chasing the pump and wrecking yourself and plummeting back and forth to different coins. What you want to do before you invest anything, look where the sentiment of hype is and invest in those, and simply sit back and wait and look what happens to the sentiment. If it doesn't increase, if it dies off, reinvest. Look somewhere else. Don't get married to a wife. Don't get married to this coin, because they aren't going to. Now, one thing that you can use is something known as Dapper. Dapper has a ton of different stats and metrics to help you find good projects. But if we're looking for, let's say, metaverse coins or blockchain games and so on, how do we pick out which ones are important, where the volume is going? Well, we can look at user count, right? So if we look at blockchain games, look at how many users are actually playing your games. That is the productive side of the asset, meaning that people are actually interacting, are actually using these games, playing in them, investing money into these games, earning from these games. There's the productivity side to that, right? Then we can look at sentiment. Here's another site called playtooearn.net, and this will help you judge market sentiment, or judge the social engagement of certain projects over the last 7 days, over the last 24 hours, and you see where that sentiment's going. So, for example, you can see Axie Infinity has had a rise over the last 7 days, so possibly that could be a good play, because there's a lot more sentiment, a lot more movement happening into that. We'll look at something like The Art of War, we'll look at something like Sandbox. All of these had major growth in the last few days, so that's where the money's going.
Really gonna get her?
Very, very high right now. You can see it's been rising over the past 7 days. So look at all of these different metrics, and then come up in your head with your own sort of structure, your own sort of guideline as to what you're looking for: sentiment, actual productivity, actual users, people investing in these things. Judge the sentiment on Twitter, and then decide whether you want to invest in it. Now, of course, you have to keep in mind, of course, market cap as well. What could be the next big project? Now, many months ago, I gave you guys a very key piece of information, which is look for the big brother effect, right? So Sandbox is huge right now, $5-6 billion. Decentraland, $6 billion. What could be the next Decentraland? What could be the next Sandbox? Now, don't go looking too far down the rabbit hole. Don't go looking for projects that are 500,000 market cap or 50-cent market caps or whatever. Like really, really small. Look for larger cap projects, let's say within the $50 to $100 million market cap region, and see what is important here. Where's the hype going? Which projects are selling land? Who are they integrated with? Do they have any partnerships with gaming studios? Do they have any partnerships with huge companies? And that's how you can judge sentiment. One of the key projects that I spoke about many years ago, or many months ago as well, is Chain Games. Now, Chain Games had an astronomical rise after I mentioned it. I think it was 100x within the month. So we mentioned it around here, which was, of course, 2x, and it skyrocketed to a double. What caused this major spike here? Their possible partnership, or at the time it was a partnership, with Fortnite, a massive global game. That is just a sentiment driven outcome, right? And this is an opportunity, would have been an opportunity for you to take profits, because you were maximizing or capitalizing on the sentiment change. Now, that partnership never ended up going through. There was a pull out, and Fortnite came out of that, and of course we saw the breakdown of that. But what I'm highlighting here is that you need to look out for these key events, see where the hype is driven, see who's backing these projects, where they're moving from side to side. Another one of these, to give an example, is Travalo, right? Travalo is a travel-based project that I also mentioned back when it was a couple cents, and it skyrocketed in price, right? Because the narrative around travel changed when the restrictions started lifting towards the end of last year. There's a ton of different things happening that push this travel narrative, right? Then we have a project which I, in fact, am a seed investor in as well, which is known as D-Travel. And D-Travel has pretty much the same sort of incentive, right? It's similar to Travalo. It's actually the Airbnb of crypto, and they have this narrative behind it. Why? Because they're tapping into the current narrative.
Bro, why the fuck would you grab me with such terrible BT?
Startups advancing mobile games.
Oh my god.
Achievements here.
The fucking degenerate,
From
bro.
Sandbox, a massive.
The fuck is wrong with these people?
Or blockchain gaming company.
They don't work. They just grab you on fucking stupid ass occasions.
I move away from that into this because he has a following.
So tired of playing with fucking idiots.
Following where the hype is going, you're following who this guy is, and that's pretty much what you can do in every single industry in crypto. Is follow where the
damn,
big
took you
minds
guys
are
fucking
going,
forever to do the
where
generator.
narrative is going. People are past MIT students.
I'm gonna be left here. I'm gonna be left here.
Past professors. It doesn't matter what they're doing, but you need to understand their history. You need to understand human emotion. You need to understand human behavior, and that will help you maximize your gains in this market. Now, to give you another example of this, if you look at Bored Apes as an example of NFT space,
No, fuck
right?
you guys.
Bored Apes are probably
Stop
the
following
biggest
me.
project right now, the biggest NFT crypto project, right? Why? It's purely based on sentiment. We have celebrities buying Bored Apes. We have celebrities investing in Bored Apes. putting them in
Fucking
music
A,
videos,
dude.
putting them in the TV
Leave
shows.
me
We have
alone.
TV shows, spin-offs
I don't
happening
need your
every day.
help.
Why? It's not because these people are buying these products to invest in them. They're buying them as a form of clout, a form of status, a form of affiliation, right? It's an affiliation with this unique, very important, exclusive club.
Oh, we're fucked.
And that's a sign
Thanks.
of sentiment. So even
Wow,
if
you
these
really
people
sandbagged me like that?
purchase these board games, which we've noticed that is
What a
what's happening.
bitch.
A lot of them are
What a
paid to
fucking
buy board games.
bitch.
That of course helps the entire
Good,
board game
good,
production as a
good,
whole.
good,
But
good. Fuck
what is
you.
it doing? It's maximizing the sentiment or the narrative behind this being this exclusive club, this blue chip project, and that's all you need to care about. All you need to care about is association, affiliation, news, hype around all of these projects in the space if you do want to be successful in this. And you would have seen that I had crypto.com open here as well, because this is one of those projects as well that I spoke about when it was really, really, really tiny, a couple cents as well, and it had a recent blow off top and a recent rise. Why? Because of the sentiment change. It's a fantastic
Gotta be
company.
fucking kidding me,
They've
dude.
bought stadiums, bought arenas.
Of course
changed
you would
the
be
landscape of
following me,
the company.
man.
All of these things, this is hype, this is news-based growth, and it's an opportunity to take profits, it's an opportunity to make money, because you follow the hype and you understand where to live in the market. The first thing that I want to talk about before we get into anything else as well is FTX. So
No
FTX,
way!
Hopefully I'm the first one that can drop this news. This is the kind of information that I do want to
The
be
fuck
sharing in
outta
the
here.
future in the Discord, so if you haven't yet, go join
Really
us.
tunnel
FTX
me.
US is going to be launching NFTs on Ethereum. So as you guys know, the
You gotta be
FTX
fucking
NFT
kidding me right
marketplace
now, dude.
is currently Solana-based NFTs. They will be launching Ethereum as well, which is another reason why we decided to launch on Ethereum, our personal project, because most of the value, most of the sentiment, whether we like it or not, is on Ethereum. Right? That's where most of the value in the market is, especially in DeFi, especially in NFTs, is on Ethereum. FTX has noticed this as well, and that's why they're launching this. But some key information that is quite cool is compared to OpenSea, compared to other marketplaces, FTX is not going to charge you anything for listing, for buying, selling, for adjusting your bids, for bidding on NFTs. It's going to be
I'm
completely
fucking
free,
dead,
gasless.
dude.
You'll simply be able to list your NFTs on there for free.
Oh my god, and nobody is working. Nobody's fucking working. You're just running around. Why are you guys fucking running around for, dude? Jesus Christ. I love this fucking game. I love getting tunneled because people don't want to fucking help me.
Note that I'm not sponsored by FTX. I have no affiliation.
So fucking annoyed right now.
Because FTX has been supporting our project, Your Mom's House, after launch. So that's some good information if you care to learn about that. But now let's talk about sentiment again, right? So essentially, what I'm telling you here
Fucking
is
annoying.
all you have to be looking at is where the hype is going. Search for the different projects on Google. Search for the different projects on Twitter. See what the hype is happening around them. For example, Render recently had a ton of hype when the metaverse pumped, because who's going to render the metaverse? Of course, it's going to be a Render token. Now, it could be a variety of different projects. It could be a Cash Network. It could be Render. It could be Amazon. Who knows? But if you maximized or capitalized on that hype when that sentiment changed, you'd be sitting very, very pretty right now. And before we close off the video, I just want to speak to you guys about the Crypto Fear and Greed Index and the end of the market. I do think we still have a way to go before we do have a blow off top, or even if we do and we have a
Welcome back to Cryptos Are Us. I'm George. We're all George. So, we are finally in December, the most bullish month of any year, and of course, the most bullish month of a 4-year cycle. And today is the start of that. And Bitcoin is looking pretty darn good today, and all coins are looking even better. So, today I want to talk about December, what to expect. And I do believe one of the things to expect is Bitcoin is going to head to $100,000. Santa rally is upon us. So, thanks for tuning in. As always, smash the like, subscribe to the channel. 2 streams almost every day, 11:30 and 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Make sure you hit that notification bell and follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and check out all the latest news, article, and guides at cryptosarus.com. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Hope you guys are doing well today. Today's a pretty good day so far. So far. Alright, so you can see that Bitcoin is a little bit higher than yesterday. 58.4. It was trying to break 59 and it didn't. But I do believe that it is going to retest and try for that 59, 60,000. And once we break above that 60,000, then we will be heading back up to our previous high of 68 and then 70 and then to $100,000. Now, it might not happen all at once, but I do believe that is the path for Bitcoin in December, right? There's a lot of things going on right now. A lot of Bitcoin got set back by
Put me in a
couple
fucking
of things.
game,
now
dude.
We're over it. Omicron variant turns out to be a nothing burger, okay? Whatever pre-announcement Jerome Powell said yesterday, well, we'll just have to wait and see, but that kind of offset things, and then things could recover back right away. So the few hiccups that we had, we're over that right now. We are in December. I mentioned about it being the most bullish month. Just check out the history of Bitcoin in December. That's usually really, really good, and that's because usually equities market is fantastic in December too. You know, the Santa rally. Usually people are feeling good. Profits are sky high. People are looking forward to taking their vacation. This year is still a little bit different, just like last year, but whatever. Bitcoin is set to go higher, and not just because it's the last year of the month. I mean, not last month of the year or last month of the 4-year cycle, but everything else that I can show you about Bitcoin, right, is pointing upwards. All the metrics, the fundamentals, the adoption, usage, and global awareness, attention, I mean, anything, utility, everything is going upwards. So it's not just based on this phenomenon that we happen to be the last month. No, there's just a lot of things going for Bitcoin, right? And besides Bitcoin, if you check out the rest of the market, outstanding. You know, Ethereum is closing in at its new high. Binance Coin is closing in at its new high, or excuse me, I should say previous high. Solana having a really good day today. You know what? Crypto.com, I have something to talk about. They're coming back up, right? They took a little breather. Matic up 12% today, or Polygon, I should say, 11%. And I just did a whole stream about them last night, saying that I think they're going to have a terrific December, so they're off to a really good start. And many others, Algorand and many others are doing fantastic today. So today's a good rally, good day to start off the month. Now, a few things I want to show you guys. Number one, a lot of you guys are, I don't know, you're down on Plan B. I am not, because his prediction, yes, for November is wrong. Doesn't mean, you know, his stock to flow is wrong. Now this is tracking Bitcoin since 2010 all the way till now, right? Looking at Bitcoin surging supply, the halving events, the total supply, putting all that together, and this one has a deviation, a standard deviation of the light blue and dark blue, and you can see that according to this, we are still on track. Plan B still believes we're on track for that 100,000 mark, according to Stock to Flow. And as held true all previous cycles, and there's no reason to think that won't hold true this cycle. We haven't broken out. We haven't broken out to the bottom. We haven't done anything that previous cycles have not done before going on a huge run in December. Happened in 2013, happened in 2017. I expect more of the same for 2021. We will get that huge run up in December. So Stock to Flow, excuse me, Stock to Flow is still in play. Now his other prediction is not based on Stock to Flow, and I know that's the one that he's being crucified for right now. A lot of people say, oh, he's wrong, like they're so happy that he's wrong. He made that prediction utilizing his floor model, and and that was back when Bitcoin was 30,000. So he
Always
made
somebody
predictions
fucking
for
running around for no reason.
December, and yeah, he
Like,
was
what are
wrong
you
in
doing?
November,
What
but
are any of you doing?
what he was right all the months before, and he can still be right for December, which he predicted with his floor model that Bitcoin will be at 135,000, which is not too far off from his 100,000 prediction with Stochastic flow. So I still believe this is in play. Now, outside of Plan B, tech dev, interesting. Looking at the 8-hour time frame for Bitcoin, looking at a couple things. The 50 simple moving average (SMA), right? That's an important moving average for a lot of traders. Also looking at RSI, of course, an important indicator for whether or not Bitcoin is oversold or overbought, right? And putting it all together, you'll see that we are mimicking what has happened before, right? Right before a big run up. So this is looking at a smaller time frame and how we had this extreme fear recently, and not really. Actually, I have another article that talks about this recent correction of ours from 68 down to like 54, 53. That's actually the smallest correction we ever had. If you look at previous, bull runs, right? All the other corrections we had were like 20, 30, 40%, 50%. We never had one that was as tame as this one, which shows you how many people are not panicking this time around and just holding and buying and accumulating as much as they can. So, anyways, on a short time frame, we have this to look forward to. All right, now, some of the fundamental stuff that I was talking about global adoption. Well, it keeps getting better. Fidelity, which is one of the, I believe they're the second largest asset manager in the world, over $7 trillion in assets, right under BlackRock. They're very, very, very heavily involved with Bitcoin, and they're very bullish on Bitcoin. They have their own mining companies. They invested in many other mining companies. They have their custodial service. They have their trading desk too for institutions. And now they are launching a spot Bitcoin ETF in Canada. Unfortunately, they don't have the okay to launch it in the US, so they're like, forget that, we're not gonna wait, we're just gonna launch it in Canada. And Canada already has 3 spot Bitcoin ETFs. Purpose, theirs is the biggest, over $1 billion in AUM, but Fidelity is even a bigger name. So this could bring even more attention and more money to Bitcoin and institutional investors that want to invest in Bitcoin without worrying about custody service and all that stuff. They can simply buy this. Now, the reason why I said Fidelity's launching in Canada is because the US didn't allow it, right? The SEC didn't allow a Bitcoin spot ETF to be approved. But you know what? Grayscale tells that, well, at least their lawyer tells over Twitter that they don't think that SEC has any leg to stand on. The fact that they approved Bitcoin futures ETFs but not spot ETFs, that's a big no-no. And they actually laid it out why there's precedence for that in terms of why they should have approved both and not just one over the other. And they are relying on some big fancy law firm to go after the SEC. So maybe, I don't know if they're going to pressure the SEC to change their mind, but maybe they do. And if this happens, and all of a sudden the SEC is like, okay, we need to allow it, well, we could see a Bitcoin spot ETF in the US in the near future. Probably not this month, but maybe early 2022 in January or February, right? These Bitcoin futures ETFs launched, there's a ton of them. So far things are good, and it does show that it doesn't cause any fluctuations or anything like that right now, right? Because that's the biggest concern from SEC is that they're afraid that Bitcoin is still too manipulative, or people are manipulating it, and it's too volatile, and derivative products may hurt it somehow. They are concerned about consumer protection and all that nonsense. But still, we have Bitcoin futures out. It's been out for 4 years now. Right? We have Bitcoin futures ETF now. We have options. And Bitcoin is worldwide. It's not just a U.S.-based thing where the SEC is just based in the U.S. Right? So Bitcoin is mature. It's matured over the years. It's definitely much bigger, much harder to manipulate. So no basis for it anymore. And we'll see. We'll see if this happens. But again, if we do get a Bitcoin spot ETF, then that's going to cause an explosion. That's like dumping gasoline on top of a campfire. All right. Now, besides those things, what else is there? Well, you know, Jack Dorsey's Square, he's going all in on Square. In fact, he just declared that he's all in on Square now that he's resigned from Twitter. But what does that mean exactly? Well, that means stuff like this. Because I think Jack Dorsey really, really, really wants to utilize Square, not only to grow it, but grow it into a crypto payment system. Right? Cash App, which allows you to buy Bitcoin, right, now upgraded so that it supports Taproot, which is the newest upgrade for Bitcoin, which has increased privacy features, reduced transaction fees, and better smart contracts. But we know that Square itself, with all the terminals and dongles out there, they haven't opened up Bitcoin payments yet, or crypto payments, and that's probably something that Jack is working on right now. Jack is very, very, very involved with Bitcoin. He has a whole team, in fact, that he hired, that he's paying out of pocket just to work on Bitcoin. So he is all in on Square right now, which means he's basically all in on Bitcoin right now. So I'm looking forward to what else he's bringing. But anyways, Cash App is bringing billions of revenue for Square right now. They're only getting bigger, and they're not the only financial app out there. Of course, we have PayPal that's also in this space. And pretty soon, I do believe we're going to have Apple Pay, Apple Pay and Samsung Pay. They're both probably going to integrate soon too. So all really fantastic stuff. And lastly, in Croatia, if you're from Croatia, this will be a big positive. Their largest supermarket now accepts Bitcoin and XRP. Surprising enough, not just Bitcoin and XRP. So now people in Croatia, as well as businesses, can buy groceries and products from what's this company called? Kuzum. They can buy groceries and products from their in-store chain and from their online business. So, pretty positive, pretty positive. All right, now, in terms of some of the other things like crypto news, for example, crypto.com, they went up, they had a little breather recently. They decided to go even beyond what they're doing now. They bought 2 of IG Group's US trading assets. And why is this? Because they want to offer derivative products. They want to offer futures and possibly leverage, right? Those 2 things are near impossible in the US, which is why you don't see it on any other exchange. You don't see it on Binance.us. You don't see it on FTX.us. You don't see it on Coinbase. You don't see it on Gemini. Because when it comes to derivatives market, it is very, very, very hard, first of all, to get approval. And second of all, it's even harder to get approval if you're a crypto exchange. Well, crypto.com, well, they solved it. They bought firms so that now they have the rights to it. They paid another $216 million to do so. They just spent $700 million to buy the rights to the Lakers Stadium, which is now going to be called Crypto.com Arena, starting from Christmas. But they paid another $260 million to buy stakes into this U.S. futures and binary trading group, so that they could offer more derivatives. Now, whether or not derivatives is good for the whole ecosystem, you can argue it's not, but overall, it's positive for Crypto.com. They are using their treasury, they're using their war chest to really just go all out right now. And it is working. That is why CRO has gone up so much and why they've been able to expand so much. And they are making strides into basically everything right now. Everything. And let's not forget, they're also into NFTs as well. I haven't heard much about their NFT marketplace, but they already have a lot of celebrities and brands aboard. So they are doing fantastic. What else is there for you Ethereum fans? The ETH reserves keep dropping, and this is staggering in terms of how much it's dropping. It just drops and drops and drops and drops and drops, right? So that is why Ethereum is actually doing very good, very close to its previous high and I saw something I don't have right now. It shows the ETH to BTC ratio is its highest ever. It's never been this high, and that's because Ethereum just keeps going up at this point despite congestion and fee issues. They're burning, and OpenSea and all the DeFi products that's running aboard is just really driving it higher, right? They are basically deflationary at this point because of all the burning that is going on. But this is all very, very positive for them. Yeah, so overall reserves keeps dropping, so that's pretty good. Now, something else I've just mentioned about NFTs, right? Take a look at this. 100 million in Metaverse land sales last week. 100 million. Most of this is conducted on OpenSea. And I talked about one project last night too, Sandbox. And take a look at this. They sold $86 million into land last 7 days. Then you have Decentraland, about 15.5 million. Then you got Crypto Voxels, and then something else called Somnium Space. They're very small, but wow, $100 million in total land sales for the last week. Not even a month, week. Shows you how the metaverse is really starting to catch on fire. And yesterday when I talked about Sandbox, there was also some mega yacht that sold for like $650,000, which is insane, right? But the reason why I bring this up is because NFTs are hot, metaverses are hot, and most of these projects are all ERC20 based. They're all running on top of Ethereum, which is why Ethereum is also very hot, which is why they are the big dog still. And probably that won't change until 2022. And then it'll depend on whether or not they can get ETH 2.0 and whether or not they can scale, right? So that's pretty much it. The only other thing I want to mention is I do have a new sponsor today, but it's an exchange I just mentioned, and it has to do with NFTs, and that is FTX. FTX.us. Some of you guys may know that they launched their own NFT marketplace not too long ago, but it was only based on Solana NFTs, and it made sense because Sam Bankman-Fried is such a big fan of Solana. But according to the team, it was underwhelming, and it didn't really draw in the crowd that they thought it would, so they decided to add Ethereum now. So yes, you could have the best of both worlds. So if you go to their NFT marketplace, you could see that now you have Ethereum collections and Solana collections, and you could bring over, basically, you could sell the most popular ones from both. So Bored Ape Yacht Club, Mutant Ape Yacht Club, Bored Ape Kennel Club, and all these other ones, they are now available on FTX's NFT marketplace. And of course, for Solana, you still have the big ones like Degenerative Ape Academy and many others. So they have added, they're the only NFT marketplace that offers collections from both Ethereum and Solana, right? Which is really, really good. Also, the fees is much lower. So of course they're trying to compete with OpenSea. OpenSea charges about 2.5% fee. Well, FTX undercut them. It's 2%, right? And something else that's different is how they are holding the NFTs. They're going to act as the custodian. So you don't have to store it onto your wallet like MetaMask or Phantom. It is actually stored in FTX for now. They will open that up, but because of that, you also save a lot of fees in terms of getting it, transferred to your wallet. So that is also very different with this collection. And they want to point out that if you use their app, you can buy and sell and trade and look at all the collections on the mobile apps, which isn't available yet for anyone else, right? Coinbase is trying to do it, but it's not out. FTX is the first one that is out. So check them out, guys. If you're interested in NFT collections, it's a really good alternative to OpenSea. Now, speaking of NFTs, I do want to remind you guys that I do have my I Am George ones. I have 2 for this week. That's ending in 3 days. So later this week, but I want to remind you guys, this week I put one to make up for last week, which is the Thanksgiving-based one. And then I have an astronaut one ready for December, ready for Bitcoin. at $100,000. So if you guys are interested, check out the latest I Am George NFT collection. All right, that's pretty much it, guys. Overall, things are pretty darn good. So let's do some Q&A. UFO's great buy today. Okay. Luna, I just talked about Luna. They're burning like crazy. Luna,
oh my god, dude, you gotta be fucking
so
kidding me right
deflationary
now.
at this point. One wonders if they're gonna have any tokens left
like
because they just keep burning and burning and burning. They burned like 7 million tokens in the last like 3 days or something like that. They just keep burning and burning and burning, and that's because Terra USD is leading the way. To generate Terra USD, you need to burn Luna tokens, and that's exactly what's happening. And that is why, man, they are coming up in a big way right now. They are coming in a big way. Let's see. Coming seems to have stabilized around 0.028. Do you think it could rise up back to its previous high of 10 cents? 10x, is this feasible? Sure, it could happen. But, you know, the reason why they shot up before was because OnlyFans was going to ban porn and nude content. That's why everyone went into Cummies, but then they changed their mind, right? So I don't know if that's going to happen. But hey, who knows? Who knows? Maybe it will. They opened up their Andrew marketplace, I know, so maybe that can happen. What is the future of Sheeb? Ashley asked. Is there any future or just hype? Well, there is hope because they are trying to come out with a play-to-earn game. They're getting to Metaverse. They announced that. That's going to be in 2022. So that's going to be a big thing. And of course, more exchange listings. They recently got added on Kraken. That pumped them up. And there's still hope for Robin.
Who the fuck is this totem, man?
So yes, there is still a future, but you have to wait for it, right? There's always going to be a negative stigma to Sheeb because it's a meme coin, it's a copy of Doge, and this and that. But I like Sheeb much better than Dogecoin. Let's just put it that way. I like them much better. Nick says when ETH breaks 5K, all hell breaks loose. I think so. ETH
must
is
be in the
really,
fucking
really close. Only 3.5% away from its high. Right? When they break it, 5K is right around the corner, and who knows how high things will go. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention 2 things. Speaking of ETH, I do have a huge giveaway. Okay, end of year giveaway right here, where I'm giving out 1 ETH to 5 winners, which could be enormous. So it costs me dearly because if ETH goes to 10,000 or 15,000, that's crazy. But I do have that. But something else I want to mention about crypto.com, cryptos are us.com, not crypto.com, is that I am looking for a few other people to help me grow. I've added a lot of people to the team. But I am looking for a few other people. One being an intern that's going to help out with a lot of things, and another one where a writer, a competent writer that knows their TA. So if you fit one of these criteria, email me, george@cryptosros.com. Alright, so just want to point that out real quick.
Come here. What the fuck are you
what are
waiting
your
for?
thoughts on Wax? And we looked at RMB. I like Wax.
Stupid bro, come here.
I don't think I did, but I like Wax
Stupid
because
bitch,
there is a ton of play-to-earn games and NFTs transactions being done on Wax. In fact, they're second to Ethereum. They're actually bigger than Ethereum. So I think they're very undervalued. Let's see. You hear about Matrix NFTs? I did hear about that. I'm not so sure. I was watching the Matrix trailer. I don't know what to think of it. I don't know. Hopefully that movie doesn't bomb, because right now that trailer didn't look too good to me. But I have to rewatch it. Maybe it was just so above my head I just didn't get it. So I need to watch it a few times. But I heard about the NFT. I hope the movie doesn't bomb, because if it does, then NFTs will be worthless.
I'm gonna lose me. I got a bomb. What the fuck are you talking about, dude?
Happy holidays.
Yo, that shit is
thoughts and
lasting
knots.
forever,
I'm
yo.
actually really
The
surprised
fuck?
as I died. The parachain auctions are going, but they just seem to have no momentum right now. I don't know what it is, right? Just look at other projects. Solana up 14% last 30 days. Avalanche up 92% last 30 days. Luna or Terra up 43% the last 90 days. And DOT is down 21%. I don't know what's going on with DOT, right? They should be doing well. But I think there's still good long-term hold. I just don't know short-term what's going on with them. Sunday Swap just tweeted, testnet goes live Saturday. See, that's ridiculous. Sunday Swap came out of the post 3 weeks ago saying that in 2 weeks things were going to be complete, and now there's going to be a test net. Why? They've been hyping up their DEX for so long. Why is it so difficult? Right? Is it that hard to program a DEX on Cardano? I guess we'll have to wait and see. Cardano obviously has not been doing well because of the DEX issue. Let's see. Bobby says 2 billion VC money came into Algorand from 2 funds in the last 2 days. I don't remember happening with other L1s in the last year. I don't either. But you have to be more specific, right? You have to be more specific on what that 2 billion is used for. And a lot of other L1s don't need VC money because they already have a huge war chest, right? So that may be the reason. But I mean, nevertheless, it sounds pretty good. I'll have to do more research into it. ADAX released Mullis Swap. I don't know what that is. I'll have to see if that's good, because if it was that good, it should be pumping ADA like crazy. It's probably not. And you need more than just a traditional plain old DEX. You need a DEX with yield pools, right? With the ability for people to actually stake in liquidity. That's what really drives things higher. So let's see what happens. But I just thought about Sunday Swap. Which meme coin do you like the most? Sheep, Doja, Cardano. Sheep. Alright. Why is everyone talking about Cardano today? I've been talking about Cardano, keeping you guys encouraged about Cardano, about its upcoming DEX, about how the price could move tremendously afterwards. But today, all of a sudden, everyone's asking. VGX, so undervalued. What do you think? Is it fair market cap? VGX, you mean 1.1 billion? I just talked about VGX last night, so I'm not going to go too much into it, but it's one of the coins that I believe has a promising future, especially in December, because they are going to NFTs too. Got a huge investment from Alameda Research, which I think means that they're going to come out of the NFT marketplace that's going to be on top of Cardano. I mean, on top of Solana. When will 10 billion not be considered big cap to you? I don't know. I think that's a good threshold right now. And I know a lot of projects are above 10 billion, but still, I mean, you look at 10 billion and cutoff is at 22, right? If you remove the stable coins, it's really only
Oh my
like
god.
18. So, I mean, having more big caps to choose from is
I never have anything to fucking vault over.
But I think right now,
Great.
Ardana, never heard of it. Sorry. No. How did you get in crypto so early? Was the biggest mistake you made? Biggest mistake I made, 2 things. Number 1, not having enough patience, meaning that if there's something going on, I try to outsmart the market or panic sell. Right? No. Number 1 is not having patience. That's why I encourage you guys to always just ignore volatility, HODL, and DCA. And number 2, biggest mistake was not having enough cash on the side, right? In case there is a correction or a dip and you want to take advantage and you can't, that's horrible. So you got to have cash on the side. So those are 2 most important things when it comes to crypto. Number 1 is having patience. It's really for all investments. Number 2 is making sure you have cash on the side so you can buy the dip. Casper, they look like a promising L1. I have not done my research on them yet, but yeah, maybe. Let me see. I have to do some research. Retrace says maybe Wendy O, because Wendy O did a YouTube short on Cardano, maybe SEC crosser. Okay. You know, that came out because eToro and spreading that FUD, right, about delisting Cardano and Tron. Maybe that's where it came from, but you know what, I don't know. Do you think BTC and altcoin will mark those next year? It could. It could. You know, there's a lot of hype and focus on December, right? And that's because all previous cycles ended in December. But this cycle could be different, and it could extend into 2022.
That's my cue. Oh my god! What the fuck is wrong with this
Next
game,
New
dude?
Moon starting December 3rd. Well, that could be good, because new moon cycle.
This shit is so fucking annoying. I hate when I grab the generator or anything else besides a fucking window I want.
People, like, bash me for doing it.
Oh my
If
god.
you try the moon cycles, it's pretty
Fucking
hard to actually
stupid.
with the bottoms come at full moon, and the tops or
Fucking
the
annoying,
start
man.
of
This
the run
is the
after,
shit I'm fucking talking
right?
about.
So, I mean, it's so, like, if you look at it, every single bottom is correlated with full moon. Every single one.
Jesus Christ, man.
I don't know. I don't know what to think of it.
Just grab me. Just grab me. What the fuck are you waiting for? God.
Barbell says, don't understand the cash on the side thing. The cash that didn't make anything on the way up, so cancel out the benefit. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't cancel out the benefit because, hey, if there's a 50% crash, you're going to wish you had cash on the side so you could dollar cost average. Okay? It doesn't mean that you have to have a load of cash on the side, but 20 to 25%. And it doesn't mean that you sat with the cash. Your point is, oh, you sat with the cash and you missed out 100%, and now you wait for a retracement, you're buying back. No, that's not the case. Not everyone can have all that cash on the side all the time, right? You're making it slowly by taking profits on the way up. Or if you do have a side job or your normal job, you're saving on the side, it's over time, right? But one of the biggest mistakes I had was when Bitcoin fell down to 3,100, I couldn't buy nearly as much as I wanted to in 2018. So it's like, you know, it's one of those situations, you know Bitcoin's not going to go much lower. When Bitcoin fell to 3,100 in 2018, it was 2018 and 2019, right? You know it couldn't go much lower. Hey, if it went to 2,000, okay. If it went to 1,000, that was only a $2 gap. But what's the upside to it? Well, 3,100 to infinite, right? So there's times that I really wish I had a lot more cash.
Broski, I
Right?
really
So
wish
I'm
you
not
ran
gonna
the
make
other
that
way.
same mistake.
I really wish you ran the fucking other way.
We'll make sure I have enough in there. Right? As we go higher and higher and higher, I start taking profits, making sure I have that cash locked in. So if we do have a major correction, I'll be able to.
Come on, yo, like.
I think that's the best way to handle it. All right, last few questions. Do you like Altera's partnership with Polka City? I'm neutral on Polka City, so I don't know if their partnership with them really entices me. I don't know. Could there be bigger gain in altcoins and BTC ranges, the real profit in altcoins? Yes, but you got to be careful. You don't want to go too heavy because every time people do that, they usually get burned. You don't want to try to outsmart the market, right? Just be diversified, hold a good amount of Bitcoin and altcoins, you'll be fine. But a lot of times when you make the switch, you're like, oh, I go all in on altcoins. If there's a correction, you go hate yourself because altcoins also correct a lot worse than Bitcoin, right? So just be diversified. Don't be too greedy, and you'll be fine. Remember, don't try to outsmart the market.
How the fuck did you find that?
The DAO staking crazy what? You know, I looked at a project yesterday. Oh shoot, I forgot what this project is. But it was one of those crazy staking projects. Oh, time. So many people keep asking about
keep
time,
fucking dying.
right?
It's
Wonderland.
so annoying.
Like, this can't be good because it's promising 88,000 87,000 APY. And I try to understand what they do, and it's a horrific model. This is like, it's not something I would recommend anyone to be getting into. But yeah, anytime you have crazy APYs, and it makes me wonder what DAO is, but it's probably something that you don't want to get into because it's not sustainable, and it's not gonna be good. It's not gonna be good. All right, guys, that is pretty much it. Overall, altcoins are coming back. Bitcoin is coming back, right? And we'll see. We're in the new month, December. I'm very, very hyped up. I'm very bullish about December, and let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. So, thanks for tuning in. As always, smash a like, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys tonight, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. All right? Take care, guys. Bye. Welcome back to Cryptos Are Us. I am George. We're all George. So, huge Bitcoin bounce. It was expected. And I'm going to explain why it happened. I think many of you guys predicted this was going to come.
I believe we have a major winner, an unequivocal winner of the Chart of the Day award, perhaps even the Chart of the Week or even the month. With that said, welcome back to Elio Trades channel. I'm your host Crown again today, and we have a big one coming up as we follow up on the last a video that we put out realistically over the last few weeks here. We've been doing multiple iterations of this, and now it is all coming to fruition. So I want to follow up on Ethereum, Bitcoin, and then of course how that affects the greater landscape as a whole. Before we get into it, however, I do want to let you know I have my own channel. There is a link in the description below, and we go over a daily analysis on Bitcoin and do some live stream fun action as well, if that so interests you. All right, so let's waste no more time. Let's get into it right here. And we pointed out this chart, I think initially maybe in like October, and we've been following through as this one matures over time, and that is Ethereum Bitcoin. Why is this one important? Well, first and foremost, it has, as we went over this past weekend, great correlations with the macro direction of Bitcoin and by extension the greater crypto landscape, meaning that when Ethereum Bitcoin pairing, this chart right here, is bullish, well, typically Bitcoin is in a macro rally, or at least in a long-term upside market, and the greater crypto landscape, meaning the general alts, are typically faring quite well throughout this time. You can view that video from the past weekend for a verification of that, and then of course decide for yourself, but it's there for you to watch at any moment in time. And this week we do have the culmination of a 6-month long, I need to count them out, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, 7 months. Sorry. Hey, I'm American. I don't know my months over there. Anyway, 7-month-long consolidation. And what I can say about this is that from a Wyckoff perspective, and what I've also seen myself, is that the longer that you do consolidate, typically the bigger result. And this is about as clean and clear of a formation as you can get. We have our rising bottoms right here. We have our same resistance level over the past 7 months. And what does that essentially account for? An ascending triangle. And what do ascending triangles essentially imply? Well, there's psychology behind them. Buyers getting more aggressive, aka the higher lows, sellers waning within their inventory essentially, and at some point, well, one side gives, and in this case the probabilities are in favor of the Boo laws. And the Boo laws are actually bringing it above your topside resolution, which was in confluence with not just this level right here, but also the 1.618 Fibonacci extension from the prior macro base coming in from 2018 to resolved in actually early 2021. And this does have a technical target measured move all the way up to about 9.4 to 9.5 million Satoshis over the next coming weeks. Now, there is an invalidation on this. As always, that's how I want to differentiate this content on this channel, not just talking about amazing targets or Doom Boy targets, but putting up like what actually makes a realistic trade plan. Not that this is financial advice, but it's not complete without such things. And what would invalidate this as a setup? Well, coming back down below, our current daily higher low, which would be right around 7 million Satoshis, would invalidate this, as we've been going onwards and forwards here. And we're also trending above the topside Bollinger Band as well. Just need to close above there, which the 5-day is likely going to be able to do today with any sort of a closure above 8 million Satoshis even. If that condition is met, we will have volatility expansion alongside trend continuation, alongside a technical breakout. And we can see that this is extremely mature here from a volume from a volume perspective as well. So this is looking quite good. And while this would be my target over the next couple weeks, and I would be looking for a bit of a pullback from that region, to be fair. Upon validation above about 9.5 million Satoshis, I would look for much greater legs. The next major target would be at around 10 million 700,000 Satoshis, which is in line with your January 2018 highs right here. And then, of course, much more long-term down the road. We're talking probably months and months away, but upon validation above there, I'm generally looking for my macro highs somewhere in this territory between the 2-spot 414 and the 2-spot 618. Okay, great. So we've gone through all of that. Now let's get into the fun stuff. So how does this play into the good old alt season, of which, I mean, you could argue that we've seen an alt season already. In fact, I mean, plenty of altcoins have gone to the moon and beyond, and fair enough. And of course, certain sectors like the metaverse sector and the gaming sector have certainly been doing that as well. But let's look at Total 2 here. So Total 2 as a chart represents the total market cap excluding Bitcoin. So this is typically what people look at to judge if we're in an altcoin season or not, meaning that, you know, is right now the good risk on time for altcoins. Anyways, what do we have here on the weekly? Well, we have a general uptrend. We have a beautiful uptrend, you might even say. And what I want to really put a focus on here is our volatility reads, of which we have an extremely low read right now. We are coming down, for reference, to on a weekly, this, by the way, which is a very powerful time frame for this, at a low of about 7.14 percentile. Now, volatility is designed to expand. Similar to what we saw on over here in October 2020, I'll give you an idea of what that read produced, coming out of this base as it did essentially break above its macro range highs, and from that low point to the next actually high in this case, because it was just a straight shot up, was almost 1,000% move. Not saying that's exactly what's going to happen right here. Obviously, volatility is also direction neutral, meaning that this can be expansion with price action going to the downside. So that's why we're going to look at structure and momentum oscillators soon enough to get a further bias on what's more likely to happen. I do want to point out a few more examples where we saw comparable levels to what we have right now. One of them being actually not so long ago in March 2019. And this one precipitating this nice move over here. It doesn't look like much, but it is 200% move, and this was still within a macro base, so it was a consolidation time. Right now we are, or Ethereum, more accurately said, is well, not consolidating. Anyways, we have another example right here coming out of this major base. This one actually quite similar to what we're doing right now, and going up again. It doesn't look like much, but once you actually measure it out, 640%. The time before that was coming out of this base in November 2016, and before the next general consolidation went up about an amount I'm not comfortable with saying, but quite large. I'm not saying that this is in any way, shape, or form going to happen to that effect, but I do want to give an insight as to what the prior iterations of this have done, and obviously one more over here, and I'll let your imagination do the work on that one. Anyways, the weekly RSI is now officially back in the bullish control zone. And if we go over here to the daily, you will notice that we have multiple drives on the daily of hidden bullish divergence in confluence with this being confirmed as a higher low, as it does trade above the prior range highs, and volatility on the daily, obviously very, very low as well. So let me explain, if you're not familiar with what hidden bullish divergence is. It's probably better known as continuation divergence. I'd actually like to rename it for my own purposes to that, it's more accurate. But basically, within the context of an uptrend, we see that the RSI oscillator is making lower lows with the RSI correlated with higher lows on price action. And that essentially implies that bears are using more force but getting less of the way down, and, well, momentum takes over, and that is essentially how you typically get your higher lows in an uptrend. This is what we're doing right here, and this will be fully confirmed today with any sort of a closure above about 1.525 trillion. We're looking at, again, total 2 market caps, so these are rather large numbers, even though the chart itself looks incredibly similar to Ethereum, in fact. And the 5-day also closing today as well, and, well, that might just be your next higher low. Anyways, let's move on into the next one. I want to go over to, we should actually talk about just momentum very quickly here. This is a stochastic momentum oscillator. We just got our new monthly close. This is a monthly chart right here. We got our new monthly close, of course, as this is December 1st. Happy December, by the way. And it is crossing back up into the critical zone. This is, well, quite good. The last time we saw this freshly happen was over here in November 2020, and that was again precipitating this whole run alongside that volatility read, going all the way up for about an 800% gain. And the time before that, getting into that region was precipitating this run at about 880 million before going to 314 billion. Kind of crazy. All right, cool. So that gives us a little bit of a bias on direction. What would destroy this? What would essentially make this not valid in its current setup? Well, very obviously coming back down below 1.4 trillion with a T. Okay, so let's move into our next chart over here, and we're going to talk about long-term targets. Ah, man, I'm giving it away. Well, there it is. Show's over. Now, let's do it right here. So this was a chart that we were working off of maybe a month and a half ago. I just want to follow up on it. So we had one massive cup and handle here. Here's your cup, here's your handle, and we do have a technical target based off of that on the resolution, which was had actually way back in October. So I think that we reported this probably in October then, maybe in like middle of October. And, you know, it takes us time to obviously extrapolate, of course. You know, this is a macro move after all. It's not going to happen all in one day. But over the course of the next few weeks and months, I would be looking for it to hit the next technical target at about 1.75 trillion. And then the full-on measured move out of this base right here is actually all the way at the $2 trillion marker, which is a nice round psychological even number. So technical target, psychological even number, and the 1.618 Fibonacci extension right there. So all this is incredibly interesting to me, as this chart really, well, is, dare I say, looking good. So I think that this is a good place to leave this video off. Again, be aware of where the invalidations are. That's really where I want to differentiate this content, of course, because setup or trading isn't all just about these crazy targets or whatever. It always has to come within the context of, okay, what am I looking for? What is my risk? Where is my entry? Of course, we're not going to do all of that right here. That'd be quite literally financial advice, and I'm not a financial advisor. And what else do I want to let you know? We got the good old buy bit shill in the description of the video as well. Of course, I always want to say, look, if you're not already a successful trader, it's probably unwise to be doing these sorts of things. I do not recommend leverage trading. I do, however, understand that there is a nice benefit if you are already a successful trader to use these links, because you will get a deposit bonus, a rather large one actually, and you reduce trading fees as well. If you are a new trader and you're looking to learn, a really good idea to do is to paper trade and not put any real finances at risk. And then, you know, find some content that you gel with that you feel like you can learn from, of which I have several free playlists on my own channel, and there should be one coming on this channel in the not so distant future. And hopefully that can be of some value to you. Anyways, I'll be signing off now. Take care and enjoy.
Alright everyone, so in this video we're going to be talking about some breaking crypto news, as well as the metaverse and gaming altcoins. Also, an update on some NFTs at the end of this video. I do have 100 whitelist spots for you guys for the shopping.io NFT. Also, more info on that at the end of this video. Before we get started, I do appreciate if you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit the bell to be notified.
Perfect, really. Thanks.
So everything's pretty flat in the crypto space today. Besides Solana is up 11% at $234.
No, 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 no. I
Pretty much everything else is down 8%.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
Terra
Don't do
Luna
that.
also
Don't do
up
that. I got you.
14%. Polygon up 80% as well. Some alternatives to the Ethereum blockchain. Ethereum gas fees have been crazy over the last week or so. Anytime there's a mint or a new NFT set, gas prices just get insane, over $500 per mint. And then often you will get a failed transaction and you still lose that money to gas fees. So everyone's looking at alternatives here. Solana NFTs are doing great. The FTX platform, from the US platform, actually has Solana NFTs. I am talking to them about Ethereum NFTs, which they just launched also. So Cardano, I will be doing a separate update on this. I know a lot of people are concerned with this since it's just been on a steady decline since the launch of smart contracts. So I did warn you guys many times that this would probably have a correction after smart contracts, and it's pretty much corrected to a level here at $1.50 where I don't think it's going to go much lower if it does. So that's the thing, once attention comes back to Cardano for a major update or for a decentralized exchange that's going to get going, most likely Sunday Swap is going to be the main decentralized exchange on Cardano. That's when we're going to start seeing projects launching a Cardano and see a supply shock to ADA, everyone needing ADA for liquidity on these decentralized exchanges. So I will talk more about that in a separate video. So in this video I do want to talk about Metaverse and gaming cryptocurrencies. So we did have the launch of the Sandbox Alpha, and of course that had a correction as well. Leading up to that went parabolic. So that's the thing in the crypto space, especially during a bull market. When we do have big upcoming events for a project, it brings so much awareness to the project. Everyone has FOMO for it. There's high demand for the token. There's not a lot of people selling. So of course it's very easy for these projects to go parabolic. And Sandbox has been undervalued. I was dollar cost averaging this throughout the entire last 6 months or so. And my last good purchase was right around 23 cents. So huge return on investment on that. I have been pulling some profit on that, reinvesting in some other altcoins and NFTs. So that's the thing. You should be taking profits on the way up. Have a good entry and exit strategy. If you guys want to learn more about mine, the pinned video on my YouTube channel goes over more info on that. And there will be a cryptocurrency guides playlist in the top right of this video with tons of value in there. So definitely we'll have a correction here. I don't know how far back this will hold. I'm guessing this will move sideways eventually leading up to the actual launch. So the Sandbox did a post. The Sandbox Alpha is live. Create your avatar, download the game, and enter the metaverse. Discover experiences and play to earn 1,000 plus sand tokens and 3 NFTs. So big promotion they had here. This game looks great so far. I think it's going to be the biggest crypto game in the entire space. And I wouldn't be surprised to see the Sandbox Sand token in the top 10 cryptocurrencies at some point in 2022, once the game is live and it starts picking up mass adoption. So the major reason why I believe this is because it does model the Minecraft game, but I actually think this looks even better. It incorporates NFTs and cryptocurrency as well. And Minecraft has over 100 million monthly active users. So imagine if this game just gets a few million, it's going to be extremely popular, and I do think the Sand token is going to surge at some point, but keep in mind in the short term, it's extremely volatile. It just peaked at new all-time highs. Most likely going to have a correction and then have a consolidation where we will have some good opportunities to dollar cost average at lower prices. So another crypto game I do recommend looking into if you're into card games like Hearthstone from Blizzard. Gods Unchained is definitely a good play to earn game to look into. I did a sponsored video on this previously. I believe that was the beginning of March. Everyone that took that seriously and actually played the game got airdropped Gods tokens and IMX tokens from the Gods Unchained company. And some people were telling me their airdrop was worth over $10,000. They also have been earning NFTs in the game. So if you're into that style of game, then this is definitely a good opportunity for you to earn some crypto and NFTs while you're playing. Keep in mind this cryptocurrency just launched though, so it could have a correction since there's a lot of hype on gaming projects right now. I will be doing another video on Gods Unchained coming up as well. So Sand and Mana and all of these crypto games have been in the news lately. Sand Mana tokens surge in November as crypto traders bet on metaverse potential. So the announcement with Facebook that they're rebranding to the name Meta and going all in on the metaverse, that's really where the future of social media is. So that really woke a lot of people up to some of these crypto metaverse games like the Sandbox and Decentraland. We also had an announcement of Adidas going in on the Sandbox. I do believe they bought land and they're going to build something out in this, and I wouldn't be surprised to see a lot of other companies doing this very soon as well. The price of land has also surged in this. But while we're talking about crypto gaming, I do want to talk about the new NFT game hype that I did talk about in the last video with Wolf Game, Whale Game, Fox Game, and Gold Hunt Game, so many others that are being created. The market is becoming oversaturated very quickly, but I do want to quickly show you guys how these games work. So keep in mind I did buy into Gold Hunt Game. I'm experimenting with this, seeing how it goes. Keep in mind it's very high risk with any of these. There's been exploits in the contracts. A lot of new NFTs are coming into circulation constantly. But the idea, there is a good team behind it. They should be able to continue adding long-term utility to both the currency and the NFTs. So how this works here, you can see my NFTs on the right here. You can see my total G Gold cryptocurrency that I've earned, that I'm currently holding. So these staked gold miners here earn 10,000 G Gold per day, and then you can claim that, and that's added to your wallet funds, where you can then use that G Gold to mint more NFTs. And the idea is that they keep adding more stuff in the future where you can spend the G Gold and then hopefully create an actual game later on where you can use the G Gold as well. So as you can see, a lot of people have been minting gold miners and pirates with the G Gold currency. For every 20,000, you can mint a new NFT until this hits 20,000. Then it goes up to 40,000 gold, and then it goes up to 80,000 gold for new NFT that you mint. So hopefully they can make this sustainable. Like I said, it really depends on the team. It's very high risk. If you do have a good team behind it, they should be able to continue delivering value for the long term and keep this game going, but it really depends on the team behind it. Most of these will burn out and go to zero, and some of the teams behind this just don't know what they're doing with their contract and long-term utility. Alright guys, so I do have 100 whitelist spots for you guys for a new NFT set from Shopping.io called Shopverse. And basically they're aiming to be the first shopping platform in the metaverse. Future metaverse utility will come with this, as well as different benefits on the Shopping.io platform, like an extra 1% discount, access to private auctions that they will be doing for various expensive stuff, and other perks as well that you can see at mint.shopping.io here on the sidebar. And I do think they will be creating some future NFTs that you will get whitelist access to by holding one of these. So if you guys want to enter for that giveaway, just head over to my Twitter account and follow the simple instructions to enter in that giveaway. I will be picking all the winners in 24 hours and posting a list of all of the whitelisted NFT addresses. And then you will be able to mint these on December 4th, and the public mint is on December 6th. So if you guys want to learn more about the Shopping.io NFT, there will be links in the video description to the website and Discord. The mint price will be 0.149 Ethereum. Because this is a smaller set, 7,777 NFTs compared to your standard 10,000. And there's good perks here like 1% discount. I think access to these shopping auctions and daily deals is going to be very valuable as well. And then future metaverse utility with the SPI token and Shopping.io platform continuing to grow. I'm going to be picking some of these up. I'll also be doing giveaways for some of these on my Twitter and in the Journey Club Discord. So we also got 3,000 whitelist spots for Journey Club NFT holders. That mint will be on December 5th. If you guys do have a Journey NFT, you just show up with that wallet where you do have the Journey NFT in it, and then it will recognize that and allow you to mint one Shopping.io NFT. That is limited to the first 3,000 though, and there is more information on that in the Journey NFT Discord. And we do have 2 more whitelists for good NFT projects in December as well. Trying to bring as many quality projects to you guys as possible. So a quick update here for Journey Club. We're doing lots of huge giveaways, life-changing giveaways during the month of December. We're going to be giving away 1 bored ape worth around $200,000, 3 mutant apes worth around 6.5 Ethereum each, 5 Dogepound NFTs worth around 1.8 Ethereum, and then 50 plus other NFTs from partner NFT projects. So last announcement for today, I did join the Goobers NFT project as an advisor, and their project creator DNP3 joined Journey NFT as an advisor as well. These are not paid positions, we're just helping each other out going forward, and I would recommend checking out the Goobers NFT project. They have a big NFT burn coming, they have a game coming, and other utility, also their own cryptocurrency for this. So definitely an NFT you should have on your radar. So that's it for this video. I hope you guys found it useful. Lots of big things in the works, lots of huge things happening with crypto gaming and the metaverse. Very exciting times ahead. Just keep in mind, the hype eventually will die out. We will have future opportunities to dollar cost average. So always be careful. Make sure you don't FOMO and have a good entry and exit strategy. And you're going to do great in the crypto space in the long term. So that's it for this video. I hope you guys found it useful. I'll see you guys in the next video.
Great. All right, everybody. Welcome to Digital Asset News. Take a top stories in crypto and break them down into bite-sized pieces. So, before we start, let's do a little housekeeping. Make sure that the audio is good and the visuals are good and all that great stuff.
Fucking
annoying. Live from really done for a long time. Actually, I just did it today because I got so busy. I thought this would probably be the perfect time to actually do a live
Gotta be
stream and
fucking
save some
kidding
time.
me right now.
Unfortunately, James over there in Best Dance was filming the exact same time, so I had to push it.
I hate starting a match and they just get you right away. Like, come the fuck on, dude.
Looks like perfect.
Don't grab me. What the fuck is wrong with you?
So today, everybody, an interesting day. It's an interesting day as far as what is going on. So we're going to talk about three things. First of all, we're going to talk about how, well, Jack Dorsey stepped down from Twitter, which we already know, 4 or 5 days ago. And now, blockbuster revelation, pun intended, Square is now going to be called Block. And what the ramifications are for Jack to do that and the team to change everything over, and going from Square and the subsidiaries that it serves now to be called Block, and what, of course, I believe to be the next big thing of what they're servicing. Also, we're going to talk about how there's a Puerto Rico blockchain week. So if you're in Puerto Rico, I will be at this event just perusing the booths and listening to some pretty smart people. So if you're around, just say hi. And lastly, we're going to talk about CEOs and insider stock sell-off. And it's actually a pretty massive proportion about how many people, how many CEOs and insiders are actually selling off compared to the last decade. This is one of the highest we've ever seen. So let's take a look at those three things. But first, let's take a look at what is happening with our market. So today's not a bad day, in all honesty. We're up a whopping 0.09%. It just sounds so lame. I gotta be honest with you. $2.63 trillion, but I mean, hey, it's not, it wasn't that drop off like we saw on Friday after that big scary event with the different variant. I gotta tell you, I think it was one of those, that was probably my best dip buying day I've ever done, because it fell back so aggressively, but then it bounced back so quickly. It was like the easiest 10, 15, 30% I've ever made in my life. I didn't have to do anything. All I had to do was just buy, which is great. But today, we see the prices, let's see, Bitcoin, 57.2. Really, the big thing is, that's what I'm always curious about. Solana's up 10%. It's in that number 5 spot. Cardano, wow, $1.55, down a little bit. 7% for Luna, taking off. Thanks. Matic, layer 2 solution, or sidechain solution, whatever they want to distinguish it as. For Ethereum, up 12%. Algorand, looking nice. Elrond, good. Anything down majorly? No, not really. All right. So that's what's going on in the market itself. That's not the big story. The big thing is
Gotta be fucking
Square is
kidding
now
me,
called
dude.
Block. And I found this to be, it's just amazing to me because, I mean, not too long ago, we saw
I'm so
Facebook
fucking
change its name
annoyed
to
right now.
Meta, which, you know,
I
they're
can't
going
stand
through
this
the
killer.
metaverse. We'll see how that all plays out. I'm sure
This thing's just automatically just hit you. Like that's, and this person just dies?
the information to you right now.
Who am I playing with, bro? Like, I can't stand my teammates half the time either.
They did that movement, and now here we are with Jack Dorsey stepping out from Twitter and changing everything over as far as going from Square to Block. And when I saw this tweet, we talked about this about a week ago when he stepped down, there was a tweet from Jack Dorsey on June 4th. He said, I don't think there is anything more important in my lifetime to work on other than Bitcoin. Well, now he's going to get his wish because this is exactly what's going on. This is exactly from Square. And it says this. It goes, look, we're changing our company name so we can give the full Square brand to our seller businesses. So now we need a name to tie Square, Cash App, Title, and TBD 545-66975 together into one. That name is Block, and they explain exactly why it is. And really, they really delve into it like they don't really care about what's coming in. They said they're future-proofing everything. We don't really care if you want to call it the Omniverse, the Metaverse, or where we're going. But in all honesty, what they're really looking to do is to put a lot of manpower and brain power into bringing blockchain, and more specifically Bitcoin, to the masses. And I think when they talked about this here, TBD 545-66975, if you don't know, that is TBD 545-66975 is a DeFi project for Bitcoin. So they're trying to turn in Bitcoin into a decentralized finance play. And you can read the white paper right here, introducing TBDEX, and they talk about the Bitcoin white paper. But this was the most interesting part about it. There's no governance token. The TBDEX protocol allows participants to negotiate trust directly with each other or mutually and voluntarily rely on trusted third parties to vouch for the counterpart. Transaction costs are ultimately driven by risk. At maximum anonymity, transaction costs will be higher. At maximum disclosure, they should be lower. And they talk about on and off ramps for fiat to get people into cryptocurrency at a fraction of the cost. So that is what TBD blah 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 actually is. And then just so you know, for the Square name itself, they've changed over everything already. So right now, Square is now Block at Blocks. And if you actually go to the Square website, sometimes it'll redirect you, sometimes it won't. But this is the new Block website for what it is. Kind of interesting.
Yo, what the fuck?
But very eye appealing. And of course, what does it have on there? It's got Block vibes.
How the fuck did you know I was down here?
Their title product. And these are all the different things that they're putting underneath.
You're not gonna
Square,
put me in the
Cash App,
basement?
Spiral,
What the fuck
Title,
are you
blah, blah,
doing?
blah, blah. So yeah, so I look at this and I'm like, this is why this is important. Not that it's
Okay.
that in terms of everything. I think it goes like this. When I see that Jack is doing all
I
these
can't
things,
stand this fucking
push
game right
Bitcoin,
now, dude.
It kind of feels like in 2017,
This is
it was
fucking
really
annoying.
speculative, really couldn't do too much.
I've lost every
and now
match.
with
Every
Bitcoin
fucking match.
taking